Today I'd like to introduce you to what has been possibly the most popular contact grill available in the UK for the last 25 years, the RE Express, designed in the UK and manufactured in the UK still. This grill will be found on every high street, in shopping malls, coffee shops, zoos, restaurants, hotels, guest houses. It's been a very popular grill purely because of its versatility and some of the unique features. It's also been adapted with the rib top plates to act as a panini grill, but it is so much more and can do so much for your business. Firstly, in this day and age we're all energy conscious, and this is the only grill available where it has an economy mode where you can turn it to half power but continue to cook. On half power the plates are heated right the way across the whole surfaces. The grill is standing idling. The customer comes in and wants a steak or a burger. You put the food on, you bring the lid down and cook in the usual way. When you start to get busy, it's at that stage that you need full power going through. So therefore a simple flick of the switch to full power and you keep cooking without any delay. The cooking surfaces are aluminium, not cast iron, as with so many grills today. And the reason we chose aluminium is because we wanted the top plate to be free to float. The reason for that is if you put an uneven piece of meat in the grill, you want it to adopt the angle of the meat so that you get even cooking, not cooking at the high point and then waiting until the product flattens before you're cooking the whole of the surface. Nice wide fat tray, easy to access at the back of the grill. You won't fill that up in a day. The fat drain at the back is wider than the scraper, so you can easily scrape excess food away into the fat drain at the back. This is stood on an insulated box section here. As you can see, I can touch that, even though this is now running at 200 degrees. I can touch that quite comfortably, which makes cleaning a lot easier. You're not poking and jiggling underneath between legs. Digital timer. Up to 8 preset programs, which you would never use. I didn't use more than 3 or possibly 4 times in a grill like this, but it does make cooking easier and much more uniform. So why don't we start to cook? Let's take something that you wouldn't immediately think of in a panini grill, as these grills have become known, but as I said to you, they are in fact contact grills which are far more versatile. Breaded fish. 2 nice pieces of breaded haddock. Lid down. We're going to do that for 2.5 minutes. And the cooking is as simple as that. We have another 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Two perfectly cooked pieces of breaded haddock. One of the things that makes this grill, sets it apart from just a regular ordinary panini grill, as I mentioned earlier, is its versatility. With the grill comes this mid-frame. Now when I've put that frame between the 2 plates and put the top plate down, actually I've got a tin box with heat. That's an oven. So literally anything you can do in an oven, given the size restriction, so you won't cook your Christmas turkey, you can cook in here. So now you can do pizza slices and griddled eggs, and garlic mushrooms, even known people to do drop scones in. Let me just give you a little example of that for an egg and bacon breakfast. We're going to give those eggs just 1.5 minutes. No grease, no fat, no oil. Crack the eggs, bring the lid down, walk away, get on with something else, preparing the bacon or preparing another breakfast. When the grill beeps at you, lift the lid and serve 2 beautifully fried stroke griddled eggs. Griddled rather than fried because there's no oil involved, so they're healthy eggs. So here we are counting down just the last few seconds, but I needn't be looking at it because when the time is elapsed it will bleep. Now we lift the lid and there are two perfect griddled eggs. No fat or grease, top is dry, yolk is soft. Now of course with eggs goes bacon. Now these grills obviously come as double grills, so on one side you can have your mid-frame in for doing things like the eggs and the black pudding and tomatoes. On the other side you'd have the flat plates and you'd be putting in your bacon. Now these are thick rashers, and we will cook them for again 1.5 minutes. And here we are counting down once again 1.5 minutes for two perfectly cooked rashers of bacon, still flat, not curled, and very tasty. Now this is a good time to actually show you the easy cleaning of the grill. If you noticed, I haven't used any fat or grease or oil, cooked dry on these plates, because the plates actually are not raw aluminium. They're treated with a system called Excalibur, which actually blasts thousands of grains of stainless steel into the surface of the aluminium. Removing dirt and grease is as simple as scraping down. And scraping down into the large fat tray at the back of the grill. So you can see in 1.5 minutes you can provide somebody with egg and bacon, and perfect egg and bacon as well. Now let's stick for a moment for the 1.5 minute cooking time to something else, another item which is a very popular meal either in the evening or for breakfast, and a nice gammon steak. Again, onto the bottom plate. Bring the top plate down, press the start bottom and we've got a countdown again for 1.5 minutes. And my guess is 1.5 minutes is going to be perfect for that gammon. And that's 1.5 minutes elapsed for the gammon steak. And this is another benefit of this method of cooking. It seals 90% of the meat surface, so the juice stays in, so you don't get shrinkage. And then when you're serving the food, all the lovely flavoursome juice is coming out onto the customer's plate. Now let's do something which is very profitable for any caterer, and that's an omelette. We're going to take 3 eggs, beat the eggs up in a bowl, some mushrooms and some cheese, mix it all in together, and as you can see we're using our old friend the mid-frame again, which stops the plates touching one another and creates a very nice cooking compartment. Pour the mix in, spread it around a little, bring the top plate down, and let's use our old friend 1.5 minutes again. And here we are, the time is up, and I'm sure you'll find this is going to be a perfectly cooked omelette, which indeed it is. And again, using our old friend 1.5 minutes. Cooking is so easy and so simple, and yet you are producing quality food, better than with conventional methods of cooking. You're retaining the juices, retaining the flavour, you're cooking quickly, and it's as de-skilled as you can possibly want. So let's just take a look at burgers. Thick burgers, quarter pounders, and we're going to do those. We're going to now change the programme. We're going to do those for 2 minutes. And what we look for this time is the size of the burgers when they go in and the size of the burgers when they come out. And you will find that the shrinkage is much reduced. Of course there is some, but also when we cut the burger open, if we can get it onto camera, you'll see how juicy and moist they are, and that's the flavour. So even if you take a regular ordinary burger and you cook them with this grill, your customers will say, that was a fabulous burger. And there we are at the end of 2 minutes cooking time for 2 quarter-pounder burgers. And you will see here how the shrinkage has been reduced dramatically. I press here, you can see the juice there. You can see the juice coming out onto the chopping board here, and you can see how moist it is. And then if we cut it open, cooked to perfection. 2 minutes, quarter-pounder burgers. Right, now we're going to have a slight time change again, but in a downward direction, and we're going to take a real good old favourite steak, 8-ounce sirloin steak. Now, I'm going to give that 2 minutes, and my guess is that should be just about medium. So as a guide, when you're cooking with this grill, if you want a rare steak, you're talking of a minute to a minute and a half. Medium, 2 to 2.5, and well done, 2 to 3.5, no more than that. And again, I've posted the food and I can walk away and leave it to do the cooking. We will still have the benefits of sealing 90% of the meat, so when that steak comes out after a little while, you'll be able to see how the juices run, the juices within that steak, all the flavour, which in other methods of cooking go up the chimney or just get griddled away. With this method you don't. You produce beautifully flavoured meat every time. Back in time for the steak. And to me that looks like a perfect medium steak. Now here you can see all the juice that was in the steak, all the flavour that's going into the customer's plate and the customer's mouth, making sure you've retained the maximum flavour. And let me see if my estimate of the cooking time was correct, that this should be, and it is, actually looks like a perfect medium steak. And that was in just 2 minutes.